We're making Syrian bread dough. We've got a 5-pound bag of flour, and we will use about half of the bag. So you'd be using about 2.5 to 3 pounds of flour. All right, we'll just throw it in a big pot. Nicole's gonna make a well.
Oh, we're gonna make a well.
And then, next what we're gonna do is we're going to take a cup and put a package of dry yeast that's not outdated, like I usually use, in a cup.
A small cup.
It's not the
Could
super
have the sugar.
active one, right?
No, just the regular, it's not fast acting, it's just the old regular.
Where's the sugar? Do you...
And to that, we add 2 teaspoons of sugar, just regular old sugar. And then we want to put warm water. Now we stir it up and give it about 3 or 4 minutes, and it will become foamy on the top, which means it's ready. And when it's ready, we put the yeast into the well. In the meantime, you take 2 tablespoons of table salt, sprinkle it around.
We used kosher.
2 tablespoons of oil.
We need 3/4 cup of milk.
3/4 of a cup of milk in a separate little container. And then to that, I am going to add about 3 cups of warm water. It should be just like lukewarm when you dip your fingers in. What? I don't know how else to tell. Okay. All right, the yeast is just about there. It needs to be a little bit foamier. The yeast goes right in the middle.
Right. Yeah.
We'll add about half of the water and milk mixture. And then we'll take a spoon and get started. Seems like I don't have enough flour in there, but that's okay. Once you get it kind of incorporated, then we'll add more milk, and then you kind of start working with your hands. Maybe I do have more flour than I thought. Okay, now we can tell it's still too dry.
Too dry.
It's all crumbly, so we'll add more water. And you just keep mixing it until it's not wet and goopy, but yet it's not dry.
It is.
Sorry. Maybe there's a better word than goopy. Okay. And then when you get to a point where it's kind of holding together, then I usually will take it out of the pan and put it on the table so I have a little bit more room to work. Okay.
You think that doesn't need any more liquid? Is it good enough now?
Sticky.
It might need something, but I can't tell because I need to like get it out of there and start working.
All right.
All right, and then just kind of start folding it towards you. And I think I think we're gonna work a little while before we add anything because I think it's okay. It seems moist enough, right? Like it's still like...
The moral of the story is there are no measurements.
Yeah, sorry guys. Oh, I just don't have them. Okay, and you just work it. You probably don't want to overwork it, but you want to work it until it's smooth. I'll show you the other side. I'm getting
There you go.
better.
That's nice.
Just kind of fold it over. And then when you're done, just put it in your pan. You have to bless it.
You have to bless
Make
it.
the sign of the cross on it, because otherwise you're doomed.
Do you oil your pan?
But I oil the bread.
Oh, you oil the
the
bread.
top of the bread a little bit so it doesn't dry out and get crusty. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so that's it. It's not perfect, but gives you some idea.
Right.
Cross it. And then you let it sit in a warm place in your kitchen for about 4 hours.
All right.
And it should
That's nice.
double in size,
Yes.
maybe even more. So you cover, you take a plastic bag, put it on top.
Sign it across it.
She already did.
I did. We could do it again, never hurt. Put the bag on and then put the lid on the pan.
Okay.
And keep it in a warm place for 4 hours. Okay, now this is your finished product after 4 hours. That's what your dough will look like, or should look like. We can preheat the oven to 400. So, now, we want to make some Syrian bread. You cut pieces of dough. I'll show you the size. About like that, like about
The palm of your hand,
a
like
tennis ball.
maybe a little smaller than a tennis ball.
Yeah, okay, about that size. And then we kind of roll them. And then we put flour down
Yep.
and we'll pat the balls into disc. All right, so you take and just flatten them out. Take your hands and pat them down. Then we just roll them. Okay, so you make it into a disc about maybe like 5-inch circle. Okay, so I need that big baking sheet over there, Nicole.
What do you want done to it?
Nothing. We can just like sprinkle a little bit of flour like that, so, but no like oil or anything, just a little flour. And then you bake them the bottom shelf of your oven, not on the floor of your oven, but the shelf closest to the bottom.
That's if you have a gas stove. If you don't, then it's
If
not
I'm
there.
out of, you're out of luck. You're SOL. Okay. So we make that ta-da. I would say about 1/4 cup.
Uh-oh.
You can buy it at Middle Eastern grocers and sometimes at
Meyer, yeah. And then you just add some olive oil until you make kind of a thin paste, I guess. Show ya.
Like right now, it's like too thick.
Yeah,
It's like more.
till it seems it's still too thick. It shouldn't be floppy.
Right.
Lots of good for it.
No,
don't I?
no glops.
No clumps. Okay, so add a little bit of olive oil at a time until it seems this is much better. This is. You think that's okay, Nicole, or do you like yours even thinner?
No, I usually like
You like
I add
thinner?
if I do it a little bit more oil to, but
Okay.
I would be fine with that. That's fine.
All
I
right.
just think sometimes
Sometimes
It's
if you get
dry.
it too oily, then it's like it's
oil
running
goes
out
off.
the, yeah.
And
right,
it
it's
turns all
it
green.
cools, but if
Yeah.
it's
All right,
So,
this is, I think, good consistency.
So just do a couple and then let's have some regular, just Syrian bread too.
Yeah, about like a tablespoon or a little bit more, and then I just take the bottom of the spoon and just kind of work it around
Yeah.
a little bit toward
If
the
you
edge.
serve these to people, you might want to make sure you tell them they're not sweet.
yes, because it does kind of look like cinnamon,
Cinnamon.
and people are very thrown off by
Yeah.
the taste because it's almost kind of bitter.
Now the Za'Atar won't rise, but the other
It
three
should puff up.
should rise.
I need to move the rack. Like I said, it's supposed to be like right as close to the bottom as you can get, like on that bottom rack.
My grandma used to make hers right on the bottom of
Is
the
that your
oven.
She
bread?
had like a homemade paddle that Grandpa
Yeah,
made.
yeah, yeah,
She
like a
just like
peel.
slide it off.
That's what Rob does with it.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're about ready to put these in. Hopefully the bread will puff up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
That's the way it does.
Probably good for about 3 days, and you can even.
But you can also use this bread if you want to make pizza, like homemade
Yeah.
pizza.
But it still needs to be in there Well, you never know. The second one's starting to puff a little bit, and the one in the front is absolutely going to be flat. You can already tell, like, it does have no hope. There's not a bubble.
No?
No.
Okay.
Two in the back are puffed up like they're supposed to be, and the one in the front is a dud. And it doesn't take long.
So you put them in and then what? You don't flip them. She's just doing this.
No, you don't flip them. I was just checking the bottom to see if they had any color. You want the bottom to have a little color before you stick them under the broiler to give them like a little bit of color and finish baking them. I got it.
Okay.
Like that. And
Yeah.
see, that's the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, it's got a little bit of color. Now I want to put them on the top by the broiler. Too long, because if it gets really brown, the bread will get crunchy.
You also, yeah, you don't want it to be crispy.
Yeah.
I don't.
There we go.
So that's nice. They opened.
Okay.
And this
so,
looks still a little wet, but that's fine. That'll dry.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And then you eat.
And then we'll just put these over here. I just usually put them on a little towel, and then I flip it over to keep them warm, and plus it it just kind of, I don't know, makes the bread softer as you keep it under that towel for some reason. Okay, so they came out okay, look. Okay, so you want to cut one open?
Yeah.
Be careful when you cut them open and they're hot, because that steam will, yeah. Break your... Okay. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Look at the steam. Hot. Okay. All right, I'm going to, might be enough of the cutting. Okay, and then you just put a little butter on, or whatever you want. Do you want a little butter on that?
Nicole, do you want some?
We'll just put a little bit on.
Who doesn't?
That's right.
Oh, do you want a piece of hot, delicious bread? No, thank you.
Okay, and so that's your pita bread all buttered, ready to go.
Yes.
Okay.
This
guys
is
want
my favorite,
That's your
but
favorite.
it's
Yes,
terrible
it
to
is.
eat on a date. Because you'll
Unless
have,
your date is into seeds.
yeah.
Here's half for you and half for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's always nice. You get
It's
soft,
delicious.
warm bread. You know, that wasn't bad. Like I said, sometimes I have,
And it came out pretty well.
not any of them will puff up. Sometimes I have all of them puff up. You don't do anything differently. I can roll 6 on the table. Maybe 3 will puff and 3 don't. And you're like, what are they? It's the same bread. You're good. Nicole's liking it.
Yeah.